But if Weber can do what he was doing on Mirage there, I think Infused is going to be a little bit worried going into this Game 3. But they did have a very solid Game 1. If they can kind of do what they were doing, if Lumji can kind of pull his socks up a little bit, like he was doing in Game 1, then they will definitely have an answer to the experience and skill of Weber.
They might just have that answer, but we are going to be heading on to Cash for the third game of this series. Weber with literally the most battle-scarred Asimov I have ever seen. That is disgusting.
It's his magic stick. It's Baif's magic stick, actually. It wasn't his Asimov.
Just disgusting. Look at that. That is... I don't even know. I don't even have words for that. But either way, we're going to be moving on to Cash. Now, this is very much an aim map. It's been said many, many times, and a very open map as well. Like, obviously, we'll go into the knife so we can decide who's on going where, but usually on Cash, I don't feel like which side you start on makes too much of a difference in the grand scheme of things.
I like to start CT side. I think generally teams prefer starting on CT if you want to just go for the defensive approach. If you are very confident in your T takes, then perhaps just getting some of that score on the board early as T side, you might see it. I mean, Infused have won both knives so far. They took T side first on Cobble because it is probably a T sided map, and then they took CT on Mirage. But it turned out that actually they lost more rounds on the CT side. So perhaps if they win this one, maybe they'll go for a T side kind of take once again, which might be a good decision from them. But we will get into this knife round sooner rather than later. But I'm looking forward to this. Like you said, Cash, a bit of an aim map in certain situations, and we have got a few players who are more than capable of taking on those 1v1 situations. I wonder who's going to be taking the AWP from both sides as well. We've kind of seen it handed around a little bit, especially on the Reason Gaming front. Whatever had it for a little bit. Keita also had it in a few rounds in Cobblestone and Mirage, so I wonder where they're going to decide for him. And with Weber just performing so well individually right now with the rifles, maybe Keita will have that AWP back once again.
Yeah, and I think one of the things as well that could be a big factor is if Infused can choose what side they want to go on. If they can go for that T side and try and shut out Weber like we saw on Cobblestone, then they're in a fantastic position to be taking this series. And we'll see if that is going to be the case here. I've just noticed the logos the wrong way around. That was really confusing me for a second there. But I mean, it's not the end of the world, as they're probably going to swap sides in a second anyway, so we'll figure that out in a sec. But looks like Infused are going to be winning out in this knife round, so they get to pick, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for the terrorist side here. But you know, CT side is also quite a popular one. Looks like it is going to be stay. They're going to decide to stay on that terrorist side, and I think that's going to be a lot to do with Weber.
Yeah, I'm happy with this decision. I think you've just got to try and take him out. But I mean, if Weber plays that mid kind of position with AWP, he can kind of keep himself in the game regardless of where the terrorists push. So maybe he will take AWP over Keita in this game, but we will obviously see once we get into it. And the pistol round is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, the pistol always makes a massive difference. It can just be that kind of early 3-0 swing, but neither of these teams have really done too great, let's say, after their initial pistol wins. They've kind of struggled to get those 3-0s initially. When that has happened, there's been a lot of kind of eco buys that have won rounds for both teams. So clearly these teams are very good with the likes of Deagles and 5-7s that we have seen them kind of bring to play.
Yeah, and as well, there's something to be said there about, you know, when you lose to those kinds of buys, when it's so common, I feel like these teams should be expecting that and should be playing cautiously because of that. Not looking for these close range battles, but making sure that when you're the team with the rifles, you go for the battles at long range where you have a distinct advantage. Because if you're going around a corner and there's a guy with a CZ, just because you've got an AWP in your hand, just because you spent a lot more money, does not mean you have the advantage in that scenario. But here we go, the game is underway. Reason Gaming on this CT side and Team Infused going to be playing as our terrorists. And it looks like the A site might just be the call to kick things off. And it's going to be Keita opening this game up with a headshot onto Lumji, meaning that Reason have the advantage, and Connor chimes in with one of his own. Yeah,
I like the aggression coming out from Reason. Just two players, Keita and Weber pushing through Squeaky, trying to catch a member of Team Infused off guard. Weber kind of backed off towards site, but Keita pursued where he was going and did find an Infused member. They will now find themselves in a 5v3 advantage. Infused will start to move towards this B site, but there will be members of Reason waiting for them in decent positions, actually. And they need to be careful here. And a nice smoke here could allow them onto site, but they will probably presume that someone is going to be on this side. Reason will throw a nice smoke to defend himself as now the action unfolds, as Red Snake will get a nice kill there on Batham. Reason will respond with a headshot on Red Snake, but now it's just a Dream left, and Weber comes in, the man himself, just to finish off the round, and that will be a nice early start for Reason Gaming. It's what we kind of expected.
That was a very cheeky little headshot from Reason as he sidled between the boxes and the smoke. The split second that you could see just pops ahead on his way past. There's that opening frag from Keita onto Lumji, and that kind of really set the tone for that round. And now Reason with this 1-0 advantage looking... That's the little shot there, that's the cheeky little one. But yeah, the advantage definitely going towards Reason, and you can see that in actually going for a couple of P90s, you know, the SMG that doesn't have that economic bonus when you get the kills.
No, but it can be very punishing, especially when you're expecting perhaps a Tech 9 rush, which is what Infused have. They've not necessarily rushed in, they are just trying to be more slow and passive about their play. But Reason are setting up well around this A site. It looks like they're more than happy to let Infused enter here because they haven't got any aggressive positions. No one's kind of stuck in that corner. Connor will try and get some spray through the smoke. Dream has pushed up onto Forklift.
Certainly has, and these Tech 9s and Deagles so far not doing amazing things for Team Infused. They've not managed to connect any kills, but they have got that bomb down, which could be important going into this next round, depending what they want to go for. But the SMG is going to come into their own as we get into these close range fights. Weber gets two for himself as Lumji, using this Tech 9 to great effect, finds a headshot, looking for a second, but Reason shuts him down in the end. And it is going to be another counter-terrorist win here in favor of Reason Gaming. And actually, this is an interesting one because every single second round today, on both semi-finals, we've seen that second round be like Tech 9 and Armor, or, you know, 5-7s and Deagles, getting that armor, making sure that that's a round that they can fight for. This time we didn't see that. And interestingly, they are just going to go straight for another eco, not wanting to... I was wondering whether they were maybe going to go for some interesting third round force buy, but it is just going to be the P250s and then one Deagle in the hands of Roma as well.
Yeah, I wonder whether Infused are going to regret this kind of T choice initially, especially if they do suffer a lot of... a kind of a big deficit going into this first half, but they do have a lot of rounds to work with, and obviously they did lose the pistol, so you'd expect them to probably go 3-0 down. Looks like they're going to be confident and push through this smoke, but Weber will be waiting on Forklift and will take down two members. A third isn't going to push through. He saw his teammates die, but Weber is saying, look, I know you're there, I'm just going to spray through smoke. Actually, he throws the molly as well, just to do as much damage, uses his pistol to kind of finish him off. Actually, Reason got the kill in the end. Keita taken out by Roma, and now Weber will just look to finish this round off for his team.
Yeah, Weber just absolutely destroying them there from Forklift. He's very capable with that MP7, and Connor going to finish the round off. So another one for Reason Gaming, but that is the end of the easy rounds for them. Now Infused are going to be having their own rifles. They've got a little bit of firepower to work with finally. Just look at Weber take them apart once more with that MP7. It was a nice little molly into that spot as well. Force the opponent out of that position.
And I've seen that a lot today, actually, using the mollies to just kind of force players out, especially when others, their teammates have AWPs, and we saw that on Mirage a couple of times. It just means that you kind of force that situation and make sure that no one's going to delay that kind of push onto site. But Reason are looking good right now. They're in a good position, but they really need to be careful here going into this rifle round. And we will going to see how the teamwork of Infused does fare. Now they've got some AKs to work with, and also an ult from Dream, but Dream will be taken down by Weber. That man, once again, doing incredible work, just looking towards Squeaky right now. Goes for the spray down through door, not quite connecting with anyone just yet.
No, absolutely not. Take a look. Infused do manage to answer for one. Roma getting that little kill with a headshot from his AK. And it's 4 versus 4 now as they head towards this B site, and they need to make an impact in this round. This is a very important round for Infused. They can't afford to fall as far behind as they did last map. Batham waiting in the wings. He's in vent. Lumji, I think, knows that somebody is there, though. He's just going to hold this angle, but it's going to be Roma that takes Batham out in the end. And the bomb is finally down, but Reason pushing onto the side, and he's going to find one, but it's traded straight back by Roma, and now it's all on Red Snake as he's on the site. He's got a couple of teammates still around, though, to help him out, but Weber is on the scene, and we've seen what Weber can do, but it's not going to matter because Lumji, it's his turn to step up, finds 2 crisp headshots, and gets a 4th round done, and another... Oh, the first round, in fact, over towards Team Infused.
Yeah, without a doubt, a very important round. We knew that they needed to get one on the board after losing 3 in a row, and I think the key factor was they killed Weber that round. So kill Weber, win round. That's my tactical advice for Team Infused, as now they can be confident and push into sites because they will know that Reason's buy won't be as strong as it was in the previous round.
Yeah, and Weber once more, he's on 8-1 right now. He is just this indomitable force, but here we go, the push is coming out. Keita with his CZ is going to be able to find a nice easy headshot to start things off. Can't turn it into anything more though. Batum once again invents, and this time he finds the kill instead of being the hunted. But he's going to look for another as Dream shuts him down, and now 2 CTs remaining. And actually, you know, with Connor only having that scout, it doesn't say good things about the next round for Reason. If they can't get this retake, they're not going to have a whole lot of cash to work with. And Weber now pushing through vents. He knows that Dream is going to be watching that one. Just get a nice position though. He has that aggression going, but the molly is just going to ruin Dream's day. But Jenko answers.
Yeah, and once again though, Weber was just been left on his own at the wrong site. So Infused had sussed out it was at A, they pushed towards B. He is in a 2v1 situation, but Roma will take the angle perfectly. That is now 3 rounds on the board for Reason and 2 for Infused. So they're making their way back into this game. And I think they're doing exactly what we thought they would do by just kind of excluding Weber as much as they could. Fantastic molly there, though, from Weber. And Dream just kind of sat in it saying, look, there's no hope for me, I might as well just burn.
Yeah, I feel like we're talking about Weber a lot, but realistically, when you look at the scoreboard, he's on 9 kills. He's on double anyone else's, aside from Roma, who's managed to get himself up to 6. But he's just been playing exceptionally, and if they can continue to shut him down, they do stand a chance. But Reason gets shut out by Jenko. And this should be a relatively simple eco bash here for Infused if they can just land their shots and not do anything too silly. But the MAC-10 coming into play as Batham goes down. Another bullet will finish off Connor if he can find it. But Connor has actually found himself an AK. And we know how deadly that player can be, but the high explosive grenade is going to be more than capable of finishing him off. But Weber is going to be the last man standing. Again. And that's just the fact of the matter is he is their kind of defender of a site, and Infused, they're just going to abuse that and go B every single time. So it's at what point Weber decides, look, okay, they're clearly trying to cancel me out here, now do I switch over to B? He kind of did it a little bit too late in the Cobblestone game, but this is better from Infused now. A lot better pushes, they're really controlling this B site, and now Reason will be able to buy up some M4s though. Just a FAMAS from Weber though. With his current performance, would you be expecting one of his teammates maybe to just kind of throw an M4 over to him? Or do you think he's just so confident that he's saying, look, I can take these guys down with a FAMAS? I do think he's a pretty confident guy. We'll see.
You think?
Well, it kind of speaks for itself so far, but let's see if they can do anything with this buy, with the FAMAS in the hands of Weber. Keita here with the M4 on this B site. The attack will begin. This Team Infused looking for some kills, and they find a couple of them. Batham and Keita gonna go down. Reason does answer, but it's 3 versus 4 right now, and it's definitely going the way of Infused. The bomb should go down any second now, and Roma getting to a nice after-plant position so that he can watch Fent, but also be there near the site if the push does come down from heaven. Molly available.
But Reason are just running. They have said...
Not having any of it.
Nope, you can have it. We want to keep our weapons. Weber's not on that site. He kind of stuck at A once again. I really just want to see them switch something up now, because clearly Infused have found a way into B site and they're using it effectively. And Reason don't have a real response for it right now. So I want to see them kind of switch it up. Who's going to be pushing towards this B site? Who's going to be holding that B site? Or maybe try and take a more aggressive approach. Kind of push towards Toxic a little bit earlier, perhaps. But Infused are going to go 4-3 up. They've got a lot of money to work with as well. Roma on 8 kills there, so he's performing well for his team. But right now, after going 3-0 up, Reason have lost 4 on the bounce.
Yep.
And this is what we expected from Infused. After they picked T-side, we're expecting strong T-side pushes out of them. It was a shame they lost the pistol, and actually, maybe very important that Reason did win the pistol, because perhaps we could be staring down a 7-0 deficit right now if they hadn't have done.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of a matter of how Cash is. We've talked about how it is kind of this almost aim map, I want to say, and kind of being proven here as it is just a battle of who can take those headshots. And look at this aggressive push from Infused as they all go up towards Squeaky. And they managed to catch Keita off guard. But because Keita pushed so aggressively, at least that has been spotted out for Reason now.
And it kept Weber alive as well. Weber pushed with Keita, but clearly he didn't want to overextend. He backed off, but we saw it in round 1 during the pistol. It's what Weber and Keita did. They both pushed down into Squeaky. Weber backed off. Keita continued. Keita managed to get the pick in round 1. But unfortunately, he wasn't as successful in this round. So now Infused do have the advantage. And they do have a lot of grenades to work with as well. But Reason also have some flashes and smokes to kind of work with themselves. Counter smokes and flashes are very important on Cash. We will see now the smoke coming out from Infused as they are going to look towards controlling this middle area of the map.
Certainly are, but the A site is going to be the call. They're all going to barrel on in. Batham just waiting in the wings with this Famas. Should be able to do a lot of damage. We saw Batham in a similar position on a different map, and it was a little bit heartbreaking. We'll see if he can connect his shots this time. Does find one, looks for a second, and will find it. Gets a third through the smoke. Batham coming up huge for his team. And now it's 1 versus 2 as Lumji is on the site. He's got an AK, but he's got to find these shots, or he will be in serious trouble. Lumji gets down a smoke, and he's just going to look to plant the bomb. Actually fakes it to try and get a free kill, but he's not going to be able to find a target. And actually, he's ended up giving Reason a bit more time to get into positions. I think maybe just committing to that plant could have been a good situation, but I think also he was under the impression that they were closer and they were actually going to push it.
Yeah, sometimes in this situation, you kind of double guess yourself. You're not entirely sure where the other team are, and I would have liked to see him plant the bomb, but yeah, this from Batham was absolutely fantastic. Getting the 3K there, great positioning. Clearly, Infused weren't really expecting it. No one checked at that spot, but now they will kind of think twice when they do enter the site, just in case anyone has been boosted up there. But that's the kind of thing that Reason needed to answer this kind of barrage that Infused have inflicted on them, having 4 rounds on the trot.
Yeah, certainly Reason going to be quite happy with having won a round now, but this is sort of crunch time for them because if Infused can win this one, the loss bonus is gone once more, and Reason will be in a very, very bad situation. So they need to play this one very cautiously. Reason heading back towards mid as Jenko pushing onto the site, and he's made his way through the smoke. He's kind of got control of A, and it's 3 versus 3 now. As Roma, again, finding these headshots. Roma has been a standout player for Infused so far in this game. And the bomb is down, so now it's down to this retake from Reason Gaming. They're looking to get into some good positions. They need to push together, but it's Roma gets found out by Batham. And now suddenly 2 versus 3. Reason finds a headshot, but Dream is on the scene. And can he make the dream come true on this one? He's going to be looking for Reason, pushing very aggressively for this one. Doesn't want to get 2 versus 1. And he's going to be able to find these aim battles, and if he can just land another headshot, he's got the round in the bag. Batham going for the fake, but it's not going to happen. Batham winning 2 duels in a round, and is he? I think he has got it. He has got it just about. That was a very close defuse though, and I think maybe actually Roma could have just played with fire a little bit longer and hoped for the defuse and hoped to try and time it out. But all in all, to be fair to Roma, it was a valiant effort. In a 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4, he nearly made it happen.
It was, and he kind of probably had to just take the risk there and hope that it was 2 fake defuses, but you know, when you're in that situation, sometimes you just have to go with your gut instinct. He clearly thought he was going for it after the first initial fake. He was taken out eventually, and meanwhile we'll see Reason Gaming taking advantage once again, being 5-4 up as a member of Infused. Jenko is taken down.
One thing that we haven't really touched on that much is we've been saying how good Weber has been doing, but if you take a look at the other side of the scoreboard, Roma is on 9 kills. He's catching up to Weber right now, who's not really been on form these last couple of rounds. So Roma, it's his time to shine, and Weber immediately answers for his kill as Dream goes down, and Team Infused down to just 3 members as they look to push on towards this B site, but Keita is laying in wait. Lumji throwing one onto Reason as well. Connor has that AWP though, and it's all about Weber as Roma drops. Weber heard me talking about Roma and he's like, get this kid out of my sight.
Yeah, Weber just doing Weber things right now, but 2 members of Infused do push in. Red Snake getting a kill on Weber, and Lumji taking down Keita, so that just leaves Connor left on his own. He's got an AWP, but he is smoked off at the moment, and time isn't really on his side just yet, but the bomb has only just gone down, so he's got a little bit of time to work with. We'll try and see if he can get a pick onto this site. He uses a smoke to try and take out as much angles as possible, but he knows this is a player in Checkers, and he's just looking at both angles right now, and if Infused can just crossfire effectively right here, Connor should no way be able to win this round, but he's pushed onto site. He will now have to get his pistol out to try and take this 1v1 battle, but he will be absolutely destroyed by Red Snake from Checkers there. Great patience from Infused and fantastic positioning from them.
And very well played by Lumji as well to not take that battle against the AWP. Just keep on peeking a little bit so that Connor can't just advance for free, but also making sure that that battle can't really go ahead and make sure that the crossfire does come into play and Red Snake can just take that nice easy kill at the end of the round. But it is now 5-5. Infused have managed to even things up. And it's all about kind of trying to make this round happen for Reason. If they can win this eco, they're going to be in a phenomenal position next round. But there are plenty of rifles to work with here for Infused, so they should be able to take this one fairly comfortably. The molly is going to come in, it's going to force out that player, and Jenko is going to comfortably punish Keita for having that aggressive position.
I think this is what we're in store for the rest of this game. A very closely contested game. I really think like a really sick kind of 3K or 4K coming out, and one individual just stepping up is really going to make the difference into the rest of this game. Does look like all of Reason Gaming have just headed towards this B site. They know Infused have been favouring now as Red Snake will push in, get the headshot on Connor with his Galil. Look around the corner, see if he manages to pick up Batham as well, and that just leaves Weber on his own. He was hiding behind box, manages to get the kill on Dream, but Jenko will say, no, Weber, you are not going to perform anything of a miracle right now. We're going to put another point on the board.
Yeah, it could have been beautiful, but Infused take another round for themselves, and you can kind of feel how tense it is between these two teams. That volley was just so painful to watch in the eyes of Keita right there, just getting burnt to a crisp. And very, very nice Galil work coming out from Red Snake. Aggressive peek here, but gets away with it. And now you can, as I was saying, you can feel kind of the tension here. You can see how kind of nervous the play is a little bit as Roma pushing in, but Keita going to punish that one with the CZ, and this is all looking great for Reason in this round as Dream suddenly finds himself alone. Keita, he knows, is in squeaky, but he's just going to have to push aggressively, finds Reason, but gets shut down by Weber.
Check your angles, Roma. He kind of got caught up in the push there, didn't even look round. He knows that Keita has been pushing aggressively through squeaky, so perhaps he was thinking, look, okay, he's not up this far, he's definitely not going to be around this corner, but Keita was able to pick up a nice and easy kill. Reason do tie this one up, and now they can buy some nice M4s. Weber, once again, still at the top of the board, but Roma is performing well, but not quite as well as Weber on the other side. And we will now finally get a rival versus rival round. And this is when these are going to be the important rounds, Munchable, as I think we are going to be having a very tight affair on our hands.
You might just be correct on that one. As we head towards half-time, 3 rounds remaining here, and it's rifles versus rifles. Roma just popping that window, making sure that it's available for grenades later on in the round, but a nice little molly from Red Snake forcing out his opponent, but also just completely flashes himself, so how embarrassing. But 4 versus 4 still. And the bomb's still over towards the middle of the map, but it looks like it is going to be rotating over to this A site. There's only one CT there at the moment. It's going to be Keita trying to hold the fort with that AK. But in fact, don't decide to commit to that rotation.
Yeah, they are going to go back on themselves. They've been taking B very well this game, so I'm not entirely surprised. And I just want to touch on Keita. I mean, he really struggled in Cobblestone, but he has really found his form now and is performing extremely well in this game, getting some important early crucial picks that have really kind of mapped out the round and how they've unfolded. The molly will come down. Weber manages to get a pick with his AWP as well. He will use a defensive flash in this situation, as now the rotation will come out from the rest of Reason Gaming, as they have heard that Infused are pushing towards this B site. Just 2 members left. Dream is only on 10 HP as well, and he will be running into the M4s and the AWPs of Reason Gaming. Nice positioning from them, and Batham in a perfect position to take down Lumji as well. Great defense from them, and they are looking quite strong on CT, actually, I would say. I was expecting a lot more from Infused. Nice flash.
I love that. I love that we're showcasing Red Snake just wrecking himself right there. But yeah, a very, very nice defense coming out from Reason. And unfortunately, Infused just couldn't really land the shots. But I really like that at the very last second of that round, I think it was Batham and I want to say it was Reason, both of them peaking at the same time, making sure that there is multiple threats for these Infused players to deal with at any one moment. And it means that they're able to take that round fairly comfortably. And now look at the buy situation. We had Infused kind of taking the lead a little bit, But now Weber back into that ult position.
I'll tell you what, Reason's crossfire and they're kind of facing together is something that happened a lot on Mirage as well, and they're doing it really well now on Cash, as Reason will take down Roma with his M4. They're in a 5v3 situation. There's only a Deagle and a Tech 9 in the hands of Jenko and Red Snake. Lumji does have an AK though, but Red Snake is kind of caught out. He has to push into checkers. Weber will be waiting. Weber will take him down with the AWP as well, which leaves Lumji on his own. And Weber gets the Deagle through the smoke. Fantastic shot there from him, and that just sums up his day, really.
I think Weber's spidey sense was tingling on that one. Just spies him through the smoke, takes the shot, and knocks his head clean off of his shoulders. I mean, it was that moment right there where the Tech 9 was trained on his head, but Weber just about gets the shot ahead.
That's unreal.
Oh dear, the Spider-Man himself, Weber, walking in and just taking these kills left, right, and center. But the B push is going to be very real from Infused right now as the Tech 9's coming on through, but Weber doesn't care. He goes in, gets another opener to start things off. Batham with a very aggressive position gets completely punished by Roma with the Tech 9, and Weber backed away once more. But Reason is on the scene as well. He's got his M4 out, covering all of these angles, and it's very much slowed, if not halted, this push from Infused. They've had to kind of rethink things, take a moment. Now I think they might be about to go for things once more. The molly comes in, forcing Weber back so he can't hold that angle. But Keita and Connor have come in. And that is going to be another round for Reason Gaming. 9-6 is the scoreline as we head into the second half of the game. And Infused, so far, starting to lose grip of this match.
I noticed how Weber started out on A site and slowly moved his way over to B, and you saw how well he held B then on that. You saw the smoke come in, and he just pushed through the smoke and said, look, I know roughly where you're going to be. Manages to pick up one of the AWP kills, and then just threw flashes defensively just to delay them, allow his team to rotate round. Fantastic stuff from him, but I don't want to talk too much about him. His teammates are doing very crucial things. Keita picking up some very important kills in that game as well, in that first half, should I say. So, good first half from Reason Gaming, 9 rounds on the board. I mean, we'd say it's probably more of a CT map, but Infused did decide to pick terrorists after winning the knife, so they perhaps were a bit overconfident, or maybe they just wanted to get a nice 6 rounds on the board.
That might well be the case, but they are now 3 rounds ahead. Reason, that is, managing to take the lead in this match. Team Infused with it all to play for. Let's remember that this is the 3rd match in our second semi-final. Whoever wins this will go on to face off against the Working Men later today. Whoever loses this will be in our 3rd and 4th place match against United Estonia. This single half of a map will decide it. And Reason with the advantage, but it's only a 3-round advantage, and if Infused can win this pistol, that could be enough to just equalize and then continue to roll the game. It's really on a coin flip at this point for me.
Yep, and how often does it come down to those pistol rounds as well? If Infused can pick it up instantly, you'd think they're back onto a 9-9 like kind of playing field, and to be honest, that half looked really even. It was just right at the end. Weber kind of pulled out the stops and just held B site far too effectively for Infused, and they just got that little bit of an advantage. But I think this is closer than it looks, and I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of end up with maybe even an overtime or kind of a 16-14. I do think this is going to go right down to the wire, Munchables.
I think you might be right on that one. It certainly feels like it's going to be a close one. And take a look at the buy coming out from Weber actually on this one, going for a smoke and double flash. Interesting purchase from him. But we'll see how that's going to pay off. And Batham going for the Super Soldier mode as he gets the Tech 9 and the armor coming out from Keita as well. So good teamwork coming in to make sure that they can make things happen here. But Dream starts things off just right, and that was the bomb carrier. Disaster strikes right now for Reason Gaming, but at least they are able to answer. Roma, though, finds yet another one, and it's 2 for 2 all in all as Batham arrives on the scene. He's flanking, he's coming from behind, and that could be very bad news for Reason Gaming as the rest of these CTs are coming in towards the site. Weber takes them out though, and they're going for a B rotation. They're just charging straight across the map. We're not even going to see this fight happen because it's going to be Batham just taking them out with his Tech 9. Still got 5 shots to work with, and that should be enough to take out Roma. It's a 10th round on the board for Reason Gaming, but more importantly, it's that economic advantage, and they are going to feel incredibly strong coming off of that pistol.
I love that rotation there from Reason Gaming as well. Absolute mind games, just saying, look, we're going to head towards B. And then you saw the two members of Infused just burst out of Squeaky, hearing the footsteps, knowing that they were running away, and Bayfam was just waiting just to pick faces. He got 2 kills with that Tech 9. Fantastic round, and a very important one indeed. Infused need a response, and they need it now if they're going to have any real hope in this game, to be honest, because Reason might just kind of run away with things if they are able to put a few rounds on the board. They might just knock the confidence out of this Infused lineup.
Yeah, you might just be right on that one. 4-round difference right now. If Infused can somehow make this double scout buy work, and they could be in with a shot of getting themselves back into this game. And that's going to be the key thing, is if they can just cripple the economy once more of Reason. But I don't think it's going to happen when you've got Weber on the side of Reason, taking the head straight off of Red Snake. Roma just going to be holding on to A main. But it looks like B just be the push here. Lumji keeping going with the shoulder peeking, gets that information and communicates it to his teammate, who's Jenko, just takes the head clean off of Baytham. Connor, though, with a Galil, more than happy to just annihilate these players.
Yep, just 2 scouts remaining. Dream does get the body shot, but it's not enough to get the kill, and he will be taken down by the grenade. In fact, just leaving Roma on his own, just with the scout on. It just needs a miracle now if he's going to be able to pull anything off here. He needs probably 2 headshots and a body shot. Actually, it's a 1v4. I didn't even notice that 4th player there. He was kind of hiding away on that B site. Maybe even worth running away and just saving this scout here. I mean, scouts aren't the best weapon in the world, but they can definitely do some work in the right hands. And Roma is definitely performing well right now. So if you wanted it in anyone's hands on the Infused lineup, it's probably his.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say the scout's not the best weapon in the world, but it's better than a USP. So
in the right hands, it's better than a USP.
I suppose.
Some players just can't snipe outright.
Some players just can't USP outright.
Yes.
But either way, he is going to hold on to that sniper for another round. But it means that we do have now a 5-round advantage. As we see Dream just flop on down there. But Infused, to be quite honest, looking like they're kind of on their last legs at this point. And they need a second wind right now. They need to get going again. It feels like they're sort of running out of steam at this point, and Reason, they're a hype train that just ain't stopping at this moment.
Yeah, you need just a nice aggressive round from Infused probably, just to try and pick up any kills you can and just accept that you're most likely going to lose this round and then go on to the rifle round next, and that's when you've really got to focus. That's going to be probably the most important round so far. Molotovs will come out from Reason Gaming just in case anyone is kind of sat there in mid. And once again, Weber is just up there, just firing shots with this AK. Keita will take down Jenko. Weber is getting a little bit of damage. He's taking a little bit of damage from mid, but he can just back off, and that is why the boost is such an important place to be on this map. Such a powerful place as well, as Connor actually picks up the kill on Red Snake in this kind of squeaky area, catching him off guard. He can now push around and rotate in middle, and they can start to trap these Infused team who look like they have pushed towards B actually, and they might just get onto this side.
Yeah, they are going to be able to get a free plant on this one. Reason once more kind of winning out in terms of strategy, in terms of these mind games, and selling that A fake fairly well. It means that they get control of this B site. With just 2 of the members having USPs, I fully expect them to try and go for this one, but I don't know how successful they're really going to be able to be. Keita comes in, Weber finds one as well. Dream, all on his own. I don't think this USP is going to be able to do too much for him. Does find a headshot to Reason, but the aim punch just ruins his day, and Reason finishes him off with that Mag 10. 12-6 is the scoreline now, double the score of Infused. And Reason, they're running away with this game. Infused, though, they've finally got some rifles. They've finally got some utility to work with, and they have to make this round happen.
Yep, lose this round, they probably lose the game. So this is where Infused need to step up. This is where I'm going to be looking at Lumji to be doing something big, perhaps Red Snake as well. Probably these guys are the 2 that you're going to be expect to defend well on these sides. Fantastic CT players, as we saw in the previous maps. Lumji taking an aggressive place in Vents, will take down Reason. That's the perfect pick. That's exactly what Infused needed to start this round off.
It certainly is. Reason with being down. That's actually a fairly big thing for Infused. Reason has been doing fairly well in this game. Second fragger on the team. Lumchi finds a second one as well. Infused actually have the advantage now. They can make something happen from this. Connor dodging the bullets though as he sails through the air. Batham chimes in and gets one onto Roma, and suddenly it's 3 versus 3. It was all looking great for Infused, but unfortunately, Reason just playing their trump card of essentially having Neo on the squad.
Yeah, Red Snake fired a few bullets there through smoke, seeing if he could take down anyone. He wasn't able to tag anything just quite yet. Batham will put the bomb down, and now Reason need to get into some decent afterplant positions if they're going to win this round. Batham does have a Molotov to delay the round slightly, and actually this is looking fairly good for Reason now. Infused really need to make a move sooner rather than later, as Jenko is going to push in first. He's going to lead the charge. He's looking towards these corner boxes. Will push onto site and find Batham just waiting. And Lumji as well, picking up a kill. Now they know this last man is kind of stuck in Squeaky. They are just going to be able to hold the defuse whilst everyone plays around with the door, dances around, and Infused picking up a crucial round.
That was the definition of a now or never round. This is kind of like, if we want to stay in this tournament, if we want to go to the finals, we had to take that, and they did. And now, Infused, they're the ones that have just won a round. They're the ones that are going to have the rifles, but Reason, they had a fair few rounds on the trot. They've still got money to play with. And if they can shut down Infused, if they can reset that economy once more, then it's going to look incredibly dicey for the squad. Repping that red headset as their logo. Keita finds one to start things off, and that is bad news for our counter-terrorists.
Yeah, Reason have just been pushing so well, especially towards this mid. They've used that smoke to try and take out any AWP from dealing with them when they push towards middle, and then they get control of the whole map, basically. They can really dictate where the map's going to go. They can push towards into vents, or they can push around to A if they want as well. Look, they're just being very patient now, just hoping that Infused are going to overextend slightly, which they have done in the past. We've seen a few members of Infused push through Squeaky and get caught off guard by it. So I'm not entirely surprised that Reason are being very kind of passive about their play, and this is exactly what they needed to do. Just not give Infused any kind of sniff of getting back into this game.
Absolutely, well. They have taken out Red Snake, but, you know, it's not the end of the world for Infused. It's still very possible if they can just get a nice, crisp headshot onto someone and just even things up. They'll still be in a good situation. But Reason, once more looking towards this B sign. That's definitely been a favourite for them across this game. But 3 CTs are laying in wait for them, and we'll see if they can connect their shots. It's going to be down to Lumji. Actually ends up going down. Jenko trades it straight back though as he manages to take out Reason. Finds a second one for himself, and he's looking for more. Can't connect the shot though. Batham is going to take him out, and Weber gets the one-man rotating Roma. With it all to play for in a 1 versus 3, he's got to make this happen if he wants to stay in this game. But Batham's behind him, gets shut down, and it's 13-7, 6-round advantage to Reason. And they're starting to run away with things. Infused, economy in tatters.
Yep, and their hopes of this game are slowly fading away. And Reason looking really strong. I love how Weber was so patient throughout that round. He just waited around mid. He knew that Infused would eventually push, and just lurking perfectly. It's what he's done all game. He's just been the kind of lurker, the rotator, the guy that they've looked to get these kills, to finish off the Infused lineup. And he's just performing absolutely incredibly right now. We really need something special from Team Infused if they are going to find a way back into the game, if they are going to have any hope of making this final. Will it be Red Snake with the Deagle? Tries to take down Batham, but he can't land the shots just yet. The AK is too strong for Batham as he tries to see if he can take out another in middle as well. Roma will push into A main. He actually gets the kill, but Weber will be behind Connor to kind of support him. Batham also getting a kill. Just Jenko left on his own now with the USP and just kind of stuck in this middle area. And this looks like it's going to be a 14-7 lead, double the score of Team Infused. And I don't think there's a hope in hell for Infused winning this game, to be honest, Munchables.
Infused, they're running on fumes at this point, and they are living on a prayer. See if a miraculous comeback is possible. It nearly happened for Reason in that first map. The kind of miracle play coming through, and they did manage to stay in the game while Infused were on 15 points for a very, very long time. All in all, with how Weber has been playing, with how Reason in general have been playing, it's certainly not looking like it's an easy match for Infused to get back into, and the force buy is going to be the call. A couple of Amosas, 3 M4s, and a decent amount of utility. Not ideal, but it's better than nothing at this stage for Infused, and they have to make this work. They have to use this buy that they've managed to cobble together right now if they want to stay in this map, if they want to stay in this tournament. They have to make this work.
And look at them just kind of... Weber was just more than happy to take that 1v1 if anyone was going to be facing him there at B. He's so confident in his shot now, and I know Reason players will probably watch this back and say, hey, what about us? We're doing well as well. You are. You're doing fantastic, but Weber is just a different class right now. He is just an absolute machine. Lumji has find his way into vents here, which could be a decent position. He does drop down, manages to get the spray down on 2 members. Both Connor going down as well as Batham. And Weber will also pick up a kill as well, but this is looking good. Now this is what Infused exactly needed, but he's not able to get the spray down. Keita responds perfectly with the AK, but it will just be Jenko left on the site. Keita on his own, pushing in. Dream just finishing off the round. This is the response that Infused needed. Perhaps this is their ticket back into the game, but a little bit of money to work with from Reason Gaming, so they're not going to be ecoing just yet. Although they could just kind of save for a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I mean... It looked like they maybe needed to save, but there was a couple of members. There was Keita and Batham, who both had like $8,000, $9,000. So they're more than happy to just be throwing those AKs around, fine for their teammates. But it does mean that now that kind of little bank has run out, and it's 4 versus 4 Infused. Seem to have got a little bit more wind in their sails. Once more, they're steam rolling away and looking to get control of the map. They've certainly got control of mid. And let's see if they can transition that into a site.
Yeah, and Lumji actually got 2 really important kills last round, but he has been taken out. He's been kind of the star of Team Infused's story, really, throughout the whole of this season. And he's performed well in the Cobblestone game, but kind of got lost a little bit during Mirage. And he's not been performing too great on this map either. He really needs to step up this game if Infused are going to find themselves a way back and into the final. But Reason in a very commanding position in the series in general, but in a 3v4 situation now, Weber has been the man of the moment. He's just going to hold middle here. Has got a Molotov to work with, so he can defend his position by throwing it towards vents, and now he can have a look around towards A to see if he can see anyone on shore, as now the action does unfold. Batham is taken down by Roma when he's trying to push down onto this A side.
It certainly is, but it's going to be Weber and Keita remaining. 2 of the kind of stellar players coming out for Reason, and they're looking for these duels, but Weber finds himself alone, does manage to find Dream, but there's still 3 CTs as Red Snake. In fact, it's Jenko that comes behind him and will be able to take that shot onto Weber, take another round for Infused. The economy of Reason is gone. They've run out of money. There's a couple of members on 5,000, but it's not enough to force buy their entire team. The Tech-9s are going to be coming out here for Reason. They're looking to just get these final 2 rounds on the board, but if they force buy every round, they could be in trouble. But I like this Tech-9 buy. It means that next round they should still be able to buy, even if they lose this one.
Yeah, the Tech-9 round might just be what they need. They might just have like a nice aggressive round, be able to get some picks. They might even find themselves getting onto B site if they can get that kill, but the spray down from Lungi will come down. Keita will respond with the trade, and now they will move on to B site. Jenko is there waiting, gets the double. Nice spray there from Jenko, and it does look like he has kind of crippled this push as the rest of his team swarm in to finish off the job.
Yeah.
And actually, 3 rounds on the bounce now for Infused. There is life just yet, but now Reason Gaming can buy up once again.
And this is the tricky situation for Infused, because yes, obviously you have to just win these. Like, you have to keep winning these rounds in a row. You can't afford to let Reason get onto match point. But if you do that, the loss bonus gets bigger and bigger for Reason. They're going to have more and more convincing buys every single round from this point. And it's about, you know, if they lose their rifles in these rounds, then actually they might find themselves in a worse economic position, even though they're winning the rounds.
Yeah, well, we will see where Reason are going to push now. It does look like they've managed to actually get the plant on A, but no members have gone down on either side because of the smokes. Good push from Reason Gaming. Red Snake will go up to Heaven, but he gets shot down, so he has to back off again. And Reason have done well to delay this round so far as Weber gets the first pick. Keita manages to get one as well, and now the Lumji train has arrived as Connor is the last stand in this squeaky. The fake will come out. He's trying to get a spray down, but Jenko will probably push in and finish this one off as Connor only has 7 HP. Infused with another round on the board. Reason might start to worry a little bit here.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy for Infused right there. It did get a little bit messy on the site. It was a very kind of skirmishy, a little bit of a scrap going on over towards the A side, but all in all, Team Infused managed to get ahead. And actually, for the first time, it feels like in basically all game, Dream is the one with an AWP. It's the Infused that actually have this kind of armory to start to build up and start to work with. Dream going to be the sole man over towards that A side. Interesting that they're just going to allow their AWPer to go alone, but deciding that that's a fairly safe play, considering we haven't really seen Reason Gaming push over towards that A site just straight away at the start of a round.
Well, we saw what Dream did during the Cobblestone game. He was fantastic with his AWP, so I'm glad he's got one in his hands again. He really needs to pull it out because he hasn't been performing too well in this game so far. He's at the bottom of the scoreboard, 9 in 21, so that is going to affect your confidence slightly, but now he's got his favourite weapon in hands. He's going to be thinking this is a little bit better for him, as it does look like Reason are kind of trying to set up for maybe an A take here. They're just kind of sitting around boost. Maybe they'll push through to middle. We've seen it countless times, them getting mid control before pushing to either A or B. Infused have really just given up mid several times in the round, and actually it has favoured Reason, but Infused are on a kind of a good train here.
I think it's one of the things where if you're on the CT side, controlling mid doesn't matter as much. I mean, it's still an important part of the map, obviously, because rotations and there's a million reasons why. But here we go, the fight begins. It's going to be Weber opening things up as Lumji gets his head taken off, but Dream answers with that AWP, but he immediately goes down. Connor on point with that AK, puts the bullet right between the eyes of Dream, but now Red Snake has arrived on the scene and he manages to get one for himself. He's going to be able to find himself an AK as well. And it's 3 versus 3. Roman coming in through A main. And the health bars of Reason not feeling all too great right now, but suddenly Roma finds himself alone. The flashbang comes through. I thought that was a double spray then. It was not. But here we go, 2 versus 1. Roma has to make this happen for his team. We've seen Roma step up. He is a huge player here and can't connect the shot. Keita takes him out. And Reason, they've pushed themselves to match point. Infused still have a lot of money to work with. They can still get a buy together this round, but it is looking dicey. And Reason just a few kills away from moving on into our grand finals.
And Lumji nearly made a fantastic play. He was there in middle, he pushed through the smoke, didn't quite get the spray down on 2 players and actually got taken down in the end. If he was able to pick those up, that round could have been completely different. Reason now only 1 game away from moving towards the final of this tournament. So Infused now have to play absolutely flawlessly. There is no room for error, as they are going to counter boost here. And Lumji, kind of been the star of the show so far for Infused, really needs to pull his socks up as the Molotov will just come and burn him down. He won't be able to take that aggressive stance. He's going to have to back off towards middle once again.
Yeah. Red Snake only having the deagle this time. Lumji forced out of his spot. Batham so close to win that fight. If he had an AK, he wins that fight. Did get the dink, but Batham does win out the fight all in all, unfortunately. Lumji with the M4 couldn't finish off the kill. And that is going to mean that Reason now have the advantage here. They're 1 round away from taking this series. It is 1-1 between these 2 teams, and it has been an incredibly close, incredibly scrappy series between these 2 teams. And honestly, it feels very difficult to call who's actually going to be able to take the final at this rate. Outside of this game alone, when whoever it is goes up against the working men, it's still going to feel very difficult to call. But it is going to be... Oh no, Jenko misses his shot. Batham opens things up. There's 2 CTs remaining. Make that 1. His Dream is literally all Infused have left to their Dream, but it is going to be over. 16-11 is the final score, and Reason Gaming are your 2nd grand finalists, ladies and gentlemen. And it is going to be Infused, knocked down to our 3rd and 4th place match.
A great turnaround from Reason Gaming. After going 1-0 down on Cobblestone, they really composed themselves. They fought back effectively, and Weber just absolutely showed up. Fantastic performance from him. Fantastic performance from the team all round, but he really was the star of the show. And they are going to be confident going towards this final, and well, I really can't call it between them and the working men. All of these teams look so closely contested. It really is who is going to show up on the day, and at the moment, if you've got Weber on your team, you're going to be feeling great.
And to be quite honest, it feels like the teams are very different teams to who we saw during the group stages for a lot of it. Obviously the highlights of this game, there was a lot of moments where I just loved that shot for a reason, that was just beautiful. But so many moments in this game were just exceptional from these players. But Weber, as you said, just really stepping up and making things happen for his team. And now it's definitely going to be a tight one between Reason and the Working Men. I do think that the Working Men have a slight advantage. Like, the further on in that series they went against UE, the more on point their shots were, and they kind of made it happen a little bit better. But, you know, Reason have been looking pretty damn strong themselves and managed to take this series. All in all, it's going to be a good final.
It is, and actually another player I want to touch on is Connor. I mean, it's his first LAN, and he is not looked out of place whatsoever. Very confident in his shot, very confident in his positioning, and he has been performing extremely well for his team. So I'm happy for the guy. I'm happy that he's not just some sort of only an online player. He is performing well at this big LAN event, and it was a shame really, as Lumji as well from the other side. He performed so well in that Cobblestone game, kind of lost his footing in the rest. And in the end, Reason were just too strong, and that was the moment when kind of Roma was performing very well in that game, but he just got a little bit too overconfident, a bit overzealous, and didn't check his angles. And Keita, like he did a lot during that match, actually picked up a very important few kind of early picks. I mean, he wasn't high up on the scoreboard, but a lot of his kills were crucial ones.
Certainly were. And I love that aggressive style of play coming out from Weber there. Actually nearly got a collateral on that shot as well. Didn't leg another player, but yeah, a lot of exceptional play in this series. But all in all, it was Reason who kind of performed better on the day. They made it happen for themselves. And honestly, after how dominant the first map was, Cobblestone easily went to Infused. Obviously, in the second half, it was a little bit closer, but Infused were just one round away from winning the entire time. It was pretty much in the bag for them. But then, the other two maps, it just felt like Infused couldn't quite get to grips with the situation. They couldn't quite make it happen for themselves.
It just felt like they ran out of steam a little bit. They put so much into Cobblestone, and then they almost looked tired. I know that seems strange to say, but they were really struggling in their individual battles, and perhaps their calls weren't great. There was a few times where they rotated a little bit early, and they were punished because of it. But ultimately, Reason's pushes, and to be honest, Reason's CT half was just far too strong, especially on Cash. They knew exactly where they needed to be, and perhaps Team Infused should have picked CT first after winning the knife round. That is definitely something to be said there.
Yeah, that might be the case, to be honest. They obviously did have a good CT half, but weren't really able to make it happen on that terrorist half, unfortunately for them. But Reason, just such consistent performance out of them. Weber doing a fantastic job, and just multiple members of Reason as well. I think Connor, you already mentioned him, stepped up massively for this competition, and